Tumper in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick of Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! Trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Armstrong played in the game, and a superb goal.
Tony Goody. Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this week's show. As you can see, I've been away for 2 weeks fixing oil rigs, and Russ has gone and ran out on me. Not only has he run out, but also Andy's run out on me as well after being on for 2 weeks. I somehow get the feeling that they don't like me. I don't know what it is, you know. You just both pulled out, left me home alone. So it might be a bit more professional tonight because I am joined by two Courtyard Club Call legends. First, Dan Culverwell. How are we doing, Dan? You all right?
Yeah, evening. Not too bad.
Good. And the ever-present Dave Whitehead. How are you, mate?
Evening. Good, thank you. You?
Yes. A little bit panicked, obviously, because I'm in the hot seat. But as I said, I've got assistance tonight, so it might not quite be as car crash as normal, but we'll wait and see. There's always something. So, yeah, what we're going to talk about is obviously the win against Stevenage, comfortable win against Stevenage last night. We'll go talk about that quite a bit. We'll touch on the Burton game at the weekend, but these two guys have done the Courtyard Club Call quite intensely or extensively around that. So I'll just give my side of the story and they can just butt in as we go. We'll preview Exeter. We'll touch on the finance report that's come out. Not going to go too much in depth with that, and I'll explain that later. We will discuss, and I think these two have already given me the answers before we've started, but whether or not second is still within reach. We'll all give our opinions. And obviously, last but not least, should be getting the Rezzers. Have we both got getting the Rezzers ready? Oh
no,
nah. I'll make some rubbish up as we go along. Something'll do me head in.
As long as it's not me.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
the night is still young.
Brilliant. So, hello and thank you everybody for joining us. Yes, Nick 10, Russ and Andy are wagging off. Hee. Very good. So, Stevenage last night. Obviously, I was there. You was there, Dave, and you watched from the AGM again last night, Dan.
No. It was. I didn't have to go into international waters, so yeah, it weren't too bad.
Okay.
So yeah, we watched it as normal.
So, I mean, yeah, it was a very comfortable 3-0 win. What did you make of it, Dave?
I thought the first half was very much an extension of how we played on Saturday at Burton. It was a bit hit and miss. We didn't really look very settled. We didn't look like we were creating that much. They had plenty of the ball. We sort of huffed and puffed a little bit. And then Fev's got his deflected goal. We seemed to settle down a little bit. Second half, different team altogether. And we just absolutely annihilated them second half. You know, Diamond was unplayable at times. Arguably for me, man of the match. Fevs did really well. And then obviously the subs came on and they did just as well, really. But yeah, we was good value for that 3-0.
Yeah. What did you make of it on the telly, Dan? How did it come
Yeah, I
across?
mean, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Stevenage. I didn't think they were a bad team. You could see what they were trying to do. They were trying to play football. They weren't the same Stevenage that we played, like I said, when we got back into the EFL in League Two, where it was obviously under Evans and it was, get it up front as quickly as possible. They tried to play football, and you can see that, and they tried to knock it about with a bit of pace. Obviously a different formation. We went back to a normal 4-4-2. And yeah, we sort of a little bit of poking, a little bit of pressure, trying to find our feet. But second half, I think Dave Challoner alluded that he wanted Bate and the team to sort of move up the pitch 10 meters, and that sort of started making it a little bit more open. And yeah, we took our chances for we both had the same number of shots at goal. Us and Stevenage. Difference was we had 3 shots on target and we scored 3 goals.
Yeah, it was night and day. And I think I was saying to the guy next to me, Fev just didn't quite look at his full pace. And we laughed that said if he scores, he'll find that extra yard. And it was unbelievable, wasn't it? As soon as he'd scored, you just seen like it lifted, and he seemed to be running faster. He seemed to be quicker to the ball and really wanted to run at the defence, which I think they didn't cope with. I think, yeah, for me, I thought they were good. They were like nice, fast, crisp passing in the middle of the park, but there's no penetration. They didn't look dangerous to me. You could see they were fairly comfortable on the ball, but then when they tried picking a pass out to the wing or something like that, that's when it either go out or we'd intercept it. So the little intricate passing, they looked good. They looked a lot better than Burton, I thought. But I thought that we made Burton look really good. Well, really good to compare to how Burton are. But yeah, it was deflected shot, nice and comfortable. And then second half, I'm talking, obviously, Bate got the man of the match. And you've just said there, Dave, that you thought it should have been Diamond or Fevs. I had Diamond, Fevs, or possibly Norwood. I think Norwood had another good game, pinging it around everywhere. He was picking some balls out, wasn't he? And I actually thought that apart from that pass for Diamond, I didn't think Bate had a good game. I think he was quite loose with his passing. He wasn't quite on it.
Well,
with it.
I said to someone that was sat this side of me rather than the other side, because obviously that would have been Ellis, that he's only been given that because somebody's watched his interview from the other day saying that he hasn't received one for a while, so he felt sorry for him. He's given all his gin away as Christmas presents, so he's now got none left.
It's
sorry for him.
He ran out of county gin, so he needed some county gin. That was my exact thought after listening to his interview on Saturday. I was like, that's just been fixed.
But it was definitely one of them games that, as the game went on, that you could see confidence coming back into players. Jack Diamond, Fevs, Toure. I thought Toure looked a little bit sheepish in the first half, but in the second half he started to look, back to sort of his best again. So yeah, it was definitely more of a confidence-building game with more than anything. I think, like you say, if they can start at Exeter like the way they finished on Tuesday night, then yeah, that'll be a one step forward for us all.
Yeah, definitely. There was only, sort of going off FOTMob, there was only Tanto that got a below a 7. In fact, got below a 7.2. He got 6.8. Everybody else was well above 7, and they give Diamond as the player of the match. What did you think about Tanto's chances? Do you think he should have buried them? Do you think he was unlucky? Do you think it was good goalkeeping?
Well, I think Wotton should have scored for me.
Back post header.
Oh
yeah. Well, even the goal that they think he scored didn't score. It was an own goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should have had that back post header. I was a bit surprised with that rating for Tanto because I thought off the ball Tanto really worked well. Was making the runs, and they're sort of like the defence that. Obviously for Stevenage, I don't think they had the easiest time with him because he was starting to pick up the channels. He was going down the left, down the right, and that the goal that was an own goal, the second goal, was down to sort of Tanto really sort of putting the pressure on, getting the ball, squaring it in. Obviously Wotton's hit it. It's hit the goalkeeper's chest, come off the goalkeeper, and the defender running back to goal is just, it's come off him and gone into the back of the net. So yeah, I was a bit surprised with Tanto. I thought off the work he did without the ball was really important to the team.
Yeah, we pressed really well, didn't we?
Yeah, one thing that did drive me potty about that game though was the fact that Pierre Gianni, every time Tanto went anywhere near him, he breathed on him, he fell over. And at some point in the second half, down in the corner near in the corner of the Cheadland and the Bagara stand, he absolutely bowled over Tanto, and the ref just went, yeah, and the ref just literally went, play on,
and then
all right,
then give a free kick to them just around the halfway line for just like a little nudge.
Yeah,
it was just like, it was crazy. The one thing I did notice, which I thought we would have used more of, was they had a very, very high defensive line, and every time that the ball got played, like Adai played it out to like Horse or it went to Norwood, you could see straight away Tanto was turning. He was ready to go. And the first half, we just didn't use that ball enough, and it just seemed that the tactic was Adai get a long kick, and it would go to Wharton out on the flank and try and get a nod down for Tanto. Whereas I think it seemed to be a bit more, we would, as you said, Dan, we was using the channels a bit more, weren't we, with the laughing stuff and causing them a lot of problems.
Yeah, I'd say that first half is very much taking the extra pass when there weren't need to. And like you say, not being confident on the ball. Same when we saw glimpses, I think in the second half, Horsfall coming out of the defence with the ball, Brad Hills coming out. There was a chance where Horsfall's doing his, looked like he's going to score, and I think he laid it off, didn't he, for somebody else. And obviously Horsfall as well, obviously mentioned about coming out. He got his nose, he broke his own nose, should we say, in the end of the first half.
Have you seen the picture?
Yeah. That's all his yoga and years of ballet or something involved in that, isn't it? Wow.
It's just mental, that picture. Well, so basically, he's got his right leg fully extended straight out, and he's got his nose is basically banging onto his knee. I don't think I could do that when I was his age, let alone now. Jesus Christ.
I don't even see my knees half the time, so there's no chance of me happening with me.
When it happened, I'm like thinking, because it looked like their defender's falling onto him and falling onto his knee, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this doesn't look good here. So yeah, when they said he's come off with a broken nose, it's like, well, who's broken his nose? And then obviously at the end of the game, he's broken his own nose. The Dick of the Day award definitely went to him, I think.
Yeah, and that was because that was right at the finish of the first half, wasn't it? We've got 1 minute of injury time to play, and it was on like 45, 48 seconds, and then the referee still played an extra 12 seconds. I'm just like, just blow your whistle, just get everybody off. There's just no point. I didn't see the point of it at all. It was ridiculous.
But in all fair credit to Horsfall, though, that he's came out in the second half, because we've had plenty of players in the past that they would be off injured now for the next 3 months, wouldn't he? But he's come out and to be honest, he's played an absolute storming game in the second half.
Yeah. So, what do we think of Hills? I thought again he had a really good game, and we were saying I think he's going to be a decent player, isn't he? I think he'll play for Norwich next season and go on to be Premier League, because he makes a mistake, but he's quick and he just recovers so well, didn't he? He made a couple last night, but it was just really good. As you say, I think basically you can go through the team, couldn't you? Everybody, certainly in the second half, everybody had a brilliant game, which is back to where we've been. And this is the time that we need to start doing it, isn't it?
Yeah. 100%. It's moving into the business end of everything right now, isn't it?
Yep.
And he like you say, Hills is just proper. He's solid, isn't he? And like you say, if he does make a mistake, then he has got the pace and everything to sort of get the ball back, or at least try and make a tackle, or he's quality.
Yeah.
Good addition.
Considering he's only 20 years old, he's still learning his trade, and he's so far ahead of a lot of players already. Yeah, he's a bit naive at times. He has to pick his battles and these arguments and these scraps a little bit better. But yeah, like you say, on his trajectory that he's playing, he's too good for us. And in all fairness, he's probably too good for Norwich at some point. So yeah. I'll be excited. He's one of them players I'll be definitely watching over the years to see where his career goes. And like you say, he should be playing in the Premier League within the next 3-4 years for sure.
Yeah, and I think Mark Morley has just come in. I think the only player that we've not mentioned is Connolly, and he had a really good game as too.
Yeah. Solid again, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he kept on pulling up a little bit times with like tight hammies and stuff like that, and he didn't. I think he got cramp at one point as well. So yeah,
I think that was time wasting.
Was it?
That was the classic. Yeah, it was about 87 minutes, wasn't it? I think when he got 86 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
but same again, he playing because he was playing as a left centre back, wasn't he? Between him and Horsfall. So yeah, I thought he did really well in a position that he doesn't normally play in.
Yep. So Duncoat makes a point here saying he wouldn't mind Kemp in a county shirt though. Thought he was excellent. Did anybody stand out for you for Stevenage? Did Kemp stand out?
I think Pierre Gianni is always solid, isn't he? About anything that comes in the air, he's pretty solid. I think at times we made him look a bit daft because he got a bit flustered because he was just pinging balls straight out of touch. So whether or not
he was getting pressured quite a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely was. But I mean, when I went to watch us play Stevenage away, and Kemp was unbelievable that day. He was really, really good. And yeah, maybe, I mean, if we was to look at the possibility, where does he fit in this team? It's like,
who to replace? I think that's all.
Exactly. We've got a couple of people that play in a similar position to him, and is he any better or worse than what we've got there right now? Questionably, who knows? But I thought he stood out. He was decent.
Yeah. I think Diamond made a good point as well, didn't he, saying about the depth of the squad, and especially with the likes of Powell coming back, Horse coming back. We've probably got 2 first 11s again, haven't we? Yep. We're probably up there with pretty much 2 first 11s, which we had sort of the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think there's only really Campsey now and Macca that are out, really, isn't they?
Yeah.
Apparently, is anyone else I'm missing?
Ben's apparently maybe back.
Yeah, bloody hell.
In training in the next 2 weeks. I'm led to believe. Yeah. So
forgot about him.
Forget about him. I'll get clipped.
I know. Yeah. Bloody hell.
But same again. I don't see the way the form that Corey's on.
No,
Ben doesn't get that shirt back.
No,
for me. So
no, not right now.
But it's a good positive thing, I think, around the dressing room and the squad. Apparently Ben's back in. He should be back on the grass in the next couple of weeks. The rumor has it.
Yeah,
and we've forgot as well.
Miss Rydell,
Rydell.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Yeah, seem to have an issue with fullbacks, don't we? Being injured.
Well, the other one, the one that everyone's forgotten about, is the forgotten man this season, is Jay Mingy, isn't he? As well.
Bloody hell, yeah.
And the player that played in the first 3 games, I think.
He did.
Kept clean sheets, looked outstanding. Obviously, we know that he's got an underlying condition or something that's preventing him training and stuff like that. So hopefully he managed to shake that off and sort of gets a good pre-season behind him, because we've seen it before. The difference of players having a pre-season and not a pre-season is massive in their sort of performance throughout the season. So yeah, he's another one that a little bit the forgotten man, Jay Mingy.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else to add about last night? Anything stood out for you or?
No. Look, like same again, atmosphere on the TV didn't come across that great.
It felt good in the ground. I mean, I do sitting up at tier 3, so obviously I'm quite close to where all the singers are and stuff, but it did seem as if there was quite a lot of noise from the Cheadle end.
Yeah. There was no delayed kickoffs or anything this on Tuesday. No flooding of toilets or
flooding
anything.
of
No
No.
poo gate, nothing like that.
Success then.
Yeah, very good. So we'll touch on.
Should we do a bit of admin?
Do you want to do a bit of admin?
Let's do a bit of admin. So the first bit of admin we've got, we just want to say a big happy birthday, 50th birthday to friend of the show, Andy Redding. Obviously, he can't be out here tonight because he's apparently got a stake in a promise tonight. So
Off who, Ian?
Well, I don't know if you see him. All I'm saying is, where's Russ? Where is Russ?
Well, yeah.
I don't know if he's Andy's promise or not, but where is Russ? But yeah, big well done to Andy Redding, friend of the show.
53. Doesn't look 53, does he? Looks 57.
He's had an easy paper round, hasn't he? That's why.
All uphill and against the wind.
Well, he only works 6 months of the year, doesn't he? So that's why
Wow.
he looks good for it. So anyway, happy birthday from us all, mate. Apart from that, a couple of other bits of news that have come out of obviously today from County. The first one is the club are looking for host families for academy players. So if you've got a bedroom or a cellar, you can lock them in and shut the door and look after them. All the details are actually on the website to go and look at. And also, they have released the details for the tickets for the Wickham game, last game of the season. As expected, it's the same system that we've had before for other games like the Wrexham one. They will go on sale on Wednesday, the 9th of April at 12:30, and they will go on sale to season ticket holders to start off with that have been to 15 or more away games this season.
Have they confirmed that?
Yep. That includes the games up to including the Exeter City game, but doesn't include the Peterborough game in your 15. Obviously, on the Thursday, they'll then open up to fans that have been season ticket holders that have been to 10 or more. Friday will be 5 or more away games for season ticket holders. And then, like I say, it starts anything left on the Tuesday goes out to any fan that's been to 15 or more games, but I doubt there'll be any left on the Tuesday, to be honest. So, yeah, they go on sale. That process starts on the 9th of April. They have given us, which I think is not a bad allocation, actually, 1,848 tickets, Wickham, for that game. So I didn't think it was that bad. It's more than obviously that we've added some games, but, yeah, that's not too bad.
Okay.
And that's about it for me. Obviously, I've got obviously there's news about obviously the financial stuff.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll talk about that. We'll just touch on the Burton game. Obviously, won in the end 2-1. We were very, very comfortable. I think probably the first 15 minutes for me were probably one of the best 15 minutes that we've had all season. Scored the goal, and then we just looked complacent. We just took the eye off the ball, just thought this is going to be easy. This is going to be a 4 or a 5-0. Just didn't step it up, didn't put the pressure on. Really, really sloppy. Made them look good. And they were terrible. I thought they were a lot worse than Stevenage were last night. And maybe Horse being a bit rusty for their goal. The cross come in. Obviously, Stretton gets in between him and Pye. He's caught under the ball. Horse and Pye's too far away, and then the ball goes past him, and that's when the guy scores. And then a very, very nervy last 10 minutes, and it was all from our own doing. And I think Charlie pretty much said that, didn't he? We should have won that 3-0 and won last night 2-1. Yeah. looking at the two teams, but. Yeah, it was just frustrating, wasn't it? But it was good to see that certainly the second half yesterday was back to us being what we're going to do. And if we can carry that on for the rest of the season, then we're definitely playoffs.
100%.
Shows you how balmy it is, isn't it? The Burton went then last night to go and beat Leyton Orient 2-1.
Yeah.
So it just
Yeah.
shows you that this division is, it is a bit of a balmy one.
Hadn't they won like the 4 of the last 5 games or something before playing us? I think they were one of the form teams, weren't they, for the last month?
Yeah,
so
they were, yeah.
Maybe in the end it is a good result, don't know.
Keno's father-in-law doing a decent job.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you guys want to add? I know you did it. Obviously, you've done the Courtyard Club call, both of you. Anything you want to add or say, point out about for Burton? Sorry.
No, it's like I say, if you've not watched the Courtyard Club call, it's well worth a watch. Obviously, we didn't get as many views this week as we did for the Wrexham game for some strange reason. But Jimmy's there in his blue and white scarf. You'll all be glad to hear. So it's definitely worth a watch. And I think as we are every week on the Courtyard Club call, we sort of give a county's fans' point of view. We are a county fan podcast. We're not there to give a view for Wrexham fans or any other fans. We give what we feel as county fans. So it's definitely worth a watch as we sort of pull apart that game, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, shall we talk finances? The financial report has been released this week. And just touching on what you said, and I know that obviously we'll probably get clipped for this, but I never realised that Wrexham fans had so many financial advisors that watched them. It's unbelievable. And a lot of other teams. There's so many financial advisors out there.
Especially in America, there's shed loads of them.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They all know what they're doing over there, clearly.
But so that's the only thing I'm going to say about that. We're going to talk about them, but we're not going to really deep dive because Russ has managed to actually go through it quite in depth today with
Kieran
Maguire, who does the Price of Football, yes. So he's got a very, very good knowledge about football and stuff. So the deep dive and chat about that will be released to everybody as of tomorrow morning. So that will be released to everybody, not just to patron members, but it will be ad-free for patron members. You'll have all your normal ads if you watch it in any other platform. So basically, I think the main points for me is that. Sorry, Dan, you got something to say?
I was going to say I've got a little clip of that interview, so I'll play the little clip just to give you all a bit of a teaser. I've listened through it. It's an absolute brilliant listen. It's not it's about 30 minutes long, 30 minutes long. It's a brilliant interview. Obviously, Kieran Maguire, Price of Football. He's also a lecturer at Liverpool University. Used to live in Bramhall as well. So he has an affection to County, even though he's a Brighton fan. So, here's a little clip from Russ and Kieran talking, and this will be out tomorrow morning.
What is different? Football is an emotional investment. Football is part of your history and heritage and identity of being part of Stockport. And it's the same in the case of the club present with the owner. So therefore, the numbers are scary. To lose £7 million in a year at the level where County are at present, that's 140 grand a week. Somebody's effectively having to find that, and we know who's finding it. That makes no sense in a.
So just a little clip for you. Definitely, like I say, really, really good conversation with Russ. Worthwhile watch for all County fans, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, I think it was that £7 million loss, but Stotts put money in. Is it 11 million he put in? I think it was, but it's been changed to shares so that it's in effect written off. That's the way I see it.
Equity in the club, innit? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and that's one of the questions Russ asks. What's the difference between loans and shares as well? And he explains it. Kieran explains it really, really well on it. I think, like I said, the biggest thing with most club owners and stuff like that, we look at what's going on with Sheffield Wednesday and Reading and stuff like that, where you've got owners that are basically Del boys, wheeler dealers. We don't have that with Mark Stott for me. Everything that he said that he's going to do, he has done. He's lived, done everything that he's promised he's going to do. The players have always been paid on time. Everybody's been paid on time. So, yeah, the numbers are scary. But same thing, you talk about, obviously, Kieran's club is Brighton. Now, there was obviously a sliding doors moment many years ago where I think if most county fans will remember that actually Brighton came looking for Jim Gannon at one point to head up their project. I think the Bloom family have just taken over Brighton, and they wanted Jim Gannon to be sort of like fronting that project. And he turned it down to stay with County, and I think Chris Hughton took it on. And you look where Brighton went, obviously, at that time, and what happened to us at that time. But I think he said that the Bloom family have spent £500 million of their own money to get Brighton basically from the position that County are in at the moment into where they are now in the Premier League, but playing for European places in the Premier League. So it's scary money, but that's what it is.
Yep, not cheap.
No, no, it's a very money sapping hobby, isn't it? Owning a club.
Yeah. You want to waste money? Go and buy a football club. It's great.
Do you think that we will get to the point that where we are sustainable? Because I know Mark Stott keeps talking about this sustainability. Do you think that's when we've got the level 2 or whatever it is, the level 2 or the level 1 academy, and we're actually like churning players out? Or because I don't think, do Brighton do that, or are Brighton more buying rough diamonds and turning them into decent players and then selling them for a big profit?
I think they do a little bit of both, don't they? We all know that the amount of players that have left Brighton to go to Chelsea and stuff for silly amounts of money, and like I say, I think they do a little bit of both. They sort of like look for that cheap bargain in the European market, but they're also looking to develop their own, but also sweep up any players that have left other academies and stuff like that. So I think they do everything really, really well. But it's it's a lot of money. But like you say, the Stott's been true to his word and everything that he said. And like you say, I'm happy. We're competitive. We're playing league football again. I'm happy.
Yep. I think Mark Morley makes a good point. These losses at County will have been totally expected from where we were to where we're aiming. You have to speculate in the short term to accumulate in the long term. And yeah, as he said, he had a 7-year plan. He must have expected and had sort of figures in mind, just broad figures. He must have had, like say, Simon Wilson came up with a 7-year plan, didn't he, to say we'll be in the Championship. And to get us to the Championship, you're going to have to spend X amount of money. Mm-hmm. And it's going to come. And the other thing as well is that since Stott took over, we've gone from a staff of about 25 people, and there's over 200 people now, aren't there, that work throughout the club. So you've got to think about all that, all the wages for them and everything like that. So,
and as last season obviously was a promotion season, there'll be bonuses tied into that as well for getting promotion last season. So you don't know, obviously, were the players very heavily incentivized to get promotion and they got decent bonuses. There's all sorts, like you say. But I know here, I've never heard anything about supplies not being paid or arguments or things not being done, or, it's a different world we're in now where we were 10, 15 years ago, where that somebody from the club had to go out and buy tea and coffee for the boardroom out their own pocket because the club couldn't afford it. So I know, like I say, it's a lot of money, but it's all down to, let's say, do we trust Mark Stott, what he's doing and what he has done? I do. So
100%.
He's not stupid. So, like I say, and there's a bigger picture to it all as well. It's not just what the football club is doing on the pitch, it's what they're doing off the pitch, what they're doing as a community. As we know that like some shows that we've done recently, you can clip it and take a snapshot, but that doesn't give you a true representation of actually the value of what's going on. And sometimes a profit and loss or a statement sheet doesn't give you that value or the true picture of actually what's going on, and you can sort of just read into it what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to add on that, Dave? Anything? As I say,
I mean, he must be comfortable with it, because he's obviously taken on this project knowing how much roughly it's going to cost him to get us to where he wanted to be. Like you said, on the 7-year plan, and like when we got up to League One, that was then shortened to, well, it's now a 3-year plan, because that's we'd gotten to where we were in the 4 years. So realistically, I thought that this year was going to be a year for sort of consolidation and building, and then next year and potentially the year after, we have a right good go at it. But we seem to be doing all right at the minute.
Yeah, and I know it's like it's easier to say this being sat in 5th with 6 games to go, but it just seems that every person, every player, all the management, you speak to Stott, you speak to Wilson, anything like that, every single one of them was basically saying, no, this year we want promotion.
Yeah.
We want the playoffs. We wanted the playoffs, minimum playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I know, a lot of us were like, yeah, finish 10th, finish 12th, consolidate, have a feel for the league, push for the playoffs next year. If we go up, brilliant. And then if not, the year after, then we're back, we're nailed on. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I'd absolutely love to go up. I think we'd possibly struggle next year, but we sort of said that this year, didn't we, about consolidating?
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting. Really interesting. Speaking on that side of things, we'll come into we'll talk about finishing second shortly. But before that, there's 2 points. One guy again, Mark Morley. He's on a roll tonight. How many more points do we think we need for the playoffs? And he's hoping that Blackpool sneak in 2. How many more points, or how many more? So 6 games left. So it's potential of 18 points. We are currently 9 points above Reading in 7th. They do have a game in hand on us, though.
Yeah.
So what do we think? How many points do you reckon we need? What do you reckon, Dave? Sorry, Dan.
I think probably 9 would probably see us, comfortable.
Another 9 points sees us comfortably
I think
in
another
the
3 wins. It's achievable, and there's nothing to say that we can't go on and get all 18. If we carry on playing the way that we ended that second half, anything's achievable, really, isn't it? But just it's one of them, isn't it?
What's your views, Dan? How many more points do you think?
Well, I from the start of the season, I thought 80 points was the water mark for the playoffs. At the current points per game we're getting, we should finish the season on 82 points. But I think 80 points is going to be that last playoff place. It's going to be tight. I think it's going to be really competitive, and I think same again. It's going to go down to the last game of the season in the last 10 minutes, and things will be swapping about and changing about, definitely for that last playoff place. Do I think we're in the top 2? No, I think we're horse number 4 in a 2-horse race in that one. To be honest, so we will keep on going, and if the 3 horses in front of us cock it up, as in Wickham, Wrexham, and Charlton, then we're in a position where we can capitalise. But for me, we're the 4th horse in a 2-horse race.
Do you think we can get second, Dave?
No. I just look at like the Welsh teams games that they've got left, and they've got a considerably easier run than Wickham, and I would be more than comfortable rolling over and letting Wickham tickle our bellies if we was at a point where they ended up missing out on autos, and I'd gladly just like do that game where we just pass it about at the back and let them score one, and I'd take a loss on that game just so that they ended up in the playoffs.
No.
But that's just me being stupid and spiteful.
No. Dave, that's going to be 0-0 to the 89th minute,
Yeah.
and then Fraser Horsfall is going to score an own goal.
just I mean, if obviously there's nothing riding on it, then we'll go there and give it a go. So, why not?
I mean, yes, that's the scenario that we'd like to have if that was. But there's no way on earth that Dave Challoner is going to go there and go on, lads, you have a goal, Justin can go above. So, I was on BBC Radio Manchester on Monday, and they asked me a question. I'm sorry, on the finishing second, I'll start with that. I still think we can get second. You look at the results last night. Wickham and Wrexham both dropped points. If I think that we can certainly win the majority of our games remaining. I think we've just got that. We've done this before. We've had run-ins like this before. We can take pretty much maximum points. If we take maximum points, I think that there's a real pressure on them too. I think yes, at the minute it's definitely between them two. Wickham have got a really hard run-in. Wrexham have still got to play. They've still got Charlton. They've still got who else did they say? Blackpool away. Charlton, Wigan away. I know they're a bit average, but so they've still got a couple of hard games, and they've got. I don't know. They've got to this point in the season. They've got to come unstuck because they just can't go. Can't with that. But as you said, I still think we can finish second. We win all our games. I think we've got the potential of automatic. So
I think it's like I say, we have to go that mentality, because if they slip up, then we need to be in that position where we can pounce. But yeah, like I said, with a 4-horse in a 2-horse race,
don't get me wrong.
Everyone forgets about Charlton as well, don't they? This is the thing. Charlton is sort of sneaked up there and sort of got a bit of momentum. They're the form team. So, never mind us catching that second place. I think Charlton could actually, like you say, because they've got to play Wrexham still. They're the ones actually, the real dark horse out of it all, really, Charlton nicking that second spot.
Yeah, again, those runs have got to come to an end at some point, haven't they? They've been on a decent run. So it's on BBC Radio Manchester, and they asked me who pretty much, they was like, you pretty much guaranteed that you're finishing the playoffs. Who would you not want to play in the playoffs? If it was, so let's say as it stands, let's say we'll say Wrexham or Wickham. Yeah. We'll keep it at that. Charlton, and at the minute it's Bolton, but obviously there's also Reading and Huddersfield that are there or thereabouts. Who do you think would you not want to play in the playoffs?
I personally, from being selfish, and this was actually going to be my Rezzers, because the second leg, if we finish where we are, we will play whoever finishes just above us, won't we? So yes. The second leg for that will be away. So if it turns out to be Charlton, it'll be Charlton away on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And that is what is pants.
Is that definite? Is that the way round?
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure it is. I'm sure I read somewhere that it was first game was on the Saturday, then it was the Thursday, and then I think the final was a week or so after that.
Because when we played Salford in the playoffs, that was the opposite way around, wasn't it? The first leg was on a Tuesday night or something, and then the second leg was at the weekend.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's the opposite way around.
Yeah, obviously the top team, whoever's the team above, they play the second legs at home.
At home, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And that's I think the most. Doesn't matter who we play, but for me, that's the most important thing is having that second leg at home.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter. I think even if we go somewhere and we're losing 1-0, from the first leg. I think second leg at Edgeley Park, we can turn that round.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first legs are both on Saturday, second legs are on a Thursday, and then the finals on a Sunday of the bank holiday weekend at the end of May. I believe.
Okay, right, yep.
So, yeah, it's an exciting one. But yeah, I don't fear anybody really. I'm not that bothered. It's one of them ones. If you're going to have a team, you'd want County to finish 6th, because you'd want the team that lost out on that race for the second place to be playing the team that ended 3rd, because you think, well, maybe because they've lost out on the automatics, that maybe they've just lost that little bit of edge, and the heads have dropped a little bit, and the disappointment of not finishing 2nd. So by finishing 3rd is a bit of a runners up for them. Is there going to be an advantage there for the team that plays 6th? Because obviously it's 3rd against 6th, 4th against 5th at the moment as well. So but yeah, for County to obviously have the second leg at home, they've got to finish the second leg at home. They've got to finish 3rd or 4th in the table. So wait and see, really.
I mean, the good thing is though, is when you think about it, we've got recent playoff sort of experience, and we've got players in there that have been there and done it. I don't know about the other teams because I don't really pay much attention to what they do, to be honest. But have they got players in there that have been through similar experiences and know what it's all about, or would it be their first time? And experience counts for a lot, really. So who knows? But I certainly wouldn't be scared of playing any of them. At the end of the day, we can all beat each other. It's just one of them strange things.
Yeah. I actually said Charlton, and the reason why I said that is just because of the form that they've got at the minute. If they carry that all the way through till the end of the season, then they're the team that I think would be the hardest to beat. And I think they're the only team. Well, so we've not played Wickham. I thought Wickham were the best team that we've played so far this season. They just absolutely battered us earlier in the season. But I don't fear any of the other teams. I've got no issue playing any of the other teams, whether it's in a playoff semi-final or whether it's in the final. But Matthew Brady has just said the first leg is a Saturday. So
the second leg will definitely be the Thursday then.
Yeah,
I reckon. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. Exeter. We are playing Exeter away on Saturday. You're going, aren't you, Dan?
Yeah. God knows why. To be honest, I don't finish work till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be out the house for 6 a.m. Getting a train from Norwich just after 7. Getting to Exeter for about 1 o'clock, and then we get back. Should be back into bed around about 1:30 Sunday morning.
You're definitely going on away day sleepers, mate. Toby's going to be like out of his camera. Ding, ding.
He's got away,
sleepers. Look at the state of this, Herbert, asleep on train.
Oh. I think it's same again, about 5 changes as well. So it's one of them ones. I hate it when you've got plenty of changes, because if you fall asleep and you're going to end up waking up in somewhere like Bristol or somewhere completely where you don't want to be. So yeah,
that's one advantage of living in Liverpool, is that all the trains go at Liverpool Lime Street and they all stop at Liverpool Lime Street. So I can never end up in Crewe or Newcastle or wherever else.
They usually stop there because the electrics have all been stripped for the copper, and the wheels have gone, and they're all on bricks by the time. But they can't go anywhere else. They have to stop there for maintenance.
No, you have to get off while he's still running. So it's slowly stopping, and they can't everyone off.
Even stop. You've just got to dive off.
Yeah, everyone gets on the other side and comes back out.
Load of crash mats down. Are you getting off here, sir? Yeah. Whoosh.
But yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, it's another ground. I think I've been there when I was younger with my dad, but it's definitely not obviously a ground that Toby's been to. So it's another one we tick off, and another an away day adventure really for us. And there aren't many left really of the season, so we might as well try and get them in.
Yeah.
Why not?
Are you're not going, are you, Dave?
No. Too far that one for me, mate. I've got much sleep that I'd rather catch up on.
That's fair enough.
I
So
will be at a board meeting in some foreign country watching it though. Yeah.
Right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
No problem. So what are we expecting? Do we think we'll start? Do we think we'll start the same 11 as last night? Do you think we'll change it? Well, I think Pi will be back, won't we? Pi can play. It depends because he did limp off when he got the red card, didn't he? He jarred his knee. So I don't know. I mean, obviously he's not mentioned anything about Pi, but do you think Pi comes straight back in, considering that how well we played last night?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because it's the same again. Does he stick with formation? Obviously, plays like Will Collar had a rest. Does he stick with that 4-4-2? Because, like I say, the way that we finished that game, you've got to say that we look really, really good. And I'd be tempted to just go same starting 11, 4-4-2. And in all fairness, Chandler does normally do that, doesn't he? He doesn't normally change a winning team. He's, if you're out the team, and then it's your job to fight for your spot back. And I don't think the way that we finished that game that none of the lads deserve to lose their spot for Exeter.
Yeah, what you're expecting, Dave? Do you think it would be the same?
Yeah, I think it should as well. Yeah, it's like Dan alluded to there, that he doesn't normally change a winning team. He'll probably sit there and go, well, was it his own silly fault for making that tackle? But then again, if he didn't, would we have been in the shit even more? Who knows? So yeah, I think he might just keep with the same team. But if anybody else is going to break into it, it's probably going to be Pyle just slot straight back in if that. But then again, is he going to change it and move Noyle in as a proper right back rather than Hills playing there? Or I don't know. There's a load of different ways he could do it, isn't there, really? But hopefully he might just stay with the same ones because, well, let's be honest, we didn't do too bad, did we?
Yeah. I was going to say though, do you think he changes the formation for an away game? I mean, Exeter are pretty mixed bag at the minute. Last 5, won 2, drawn 2, lost 1. They're in 16th, 48 points, 9 points above the drop zone. I think it's pretty much sort of almost getting to it's just another season in League One for them, isn't it?
Already on the beach.
Yeah. I mean, is anybody always already on the beach at 6 games to go? I mean, I know what you mean.
If I was getting paid that money, I probably would be. I'd be on the beach with 45 games left. Woohoo!
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because like I say, they're not in bad form. I think they've only lost 1 in the last 5 to Wrexham. So they're not in bad form. It's more about what we do. I think, like I say, if we played like we started played the way we played in that second half on Tuesday, then we're good enough to beat any of the teams that we've got left at the rest of this season. Yeah. So it's down to the players really that turn up.
Yeah, they beat Barnsley away last night.
Yeah, and there was a picture today on Twitter that there was something like about 30 odd of them that made the trip as well, and it was just like, wow, fair play to him. Do you know what I mean? I know there wasn't that many there, but bloody hell, on a Tuesday night traveling all that way, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you say, I think Pi comes in for Connolly, and possibly. I don't think he'll drop Hills. I think Hills looked quite comfortable at right back. Yeah. I think he looked much more defensive, but I think he's still got that he can run at players, can't he? He can go past players. He seems to be linking up quite well with Febs and Diamond when they were playing on the
Here's
side.
one for you then. Everybody thinks like our Rolls Royce of a centre half, Fraser, is a Rolls Royce. Is Brad Hills at 20 years old better than Fraser is now?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Discuss.
Yes, I think if Brad Hills let's put it this way, if Brad Hills had joined in the summer on loan and was with us all the season, he would be Young Player of the Year, Players Player of the Year. He'd win every single award at the end of the season. No doubt about it. I'd even say if you get him next season, I'd be giving him the captain's armband, because I think, to be honest, because I think at times he's shown more captain material than Lewis Bate does.
Yeah, I think he's done. I don't think he's as good. He's as good as Horse is at the minute. Horse has got the experience, and Horse makes things look easy. As you mentioned before, is that he does have the odd mistake in him where he's got to recover. And yes, fair enough, he recovers well, but still there's that naivety and just that little bit of like not just quite on it, is there? So no, I don't think so. And I will put that right back at you, Dave. What do you think?
I think that he's not as good as him right now. However, there's a lot of potential there for him to be miles better.
But that's like a politician's answer, isn't it? Because you said at this present moment,
keep moving about like this because the fence is digging in my arse cheek.
Quite a wide fence as well.
Yeah, it's one of them big pointy ones as well, and it's right in the bloody middle. It's in half, giving me some chafing.
But I mean, it's an interesting debate because obviously Fraser's one of the players out of contract in the summer, and he's got a lot to play for now, and for the rest of this season.
Yeah. So score predictions for Exeter. Sorry, before yes, as you can tell, we haven't got an Oppo review. I think we couldn't find an Exeter fan to come on and talk. As I say, we can only take 30 away, so maybe we should have just watched it. Put a tannoy out. Put a tannoy out at Barnsley for one of them to come on tonight. So yeah, score predictions, Dave.
I think we will win, and I think it's going to be 2-1. That's for me.
Okay.
I'm going to go 3-1. I don't think it matters which end we're shooting at first. But
no,
yeah, 3-1.
Bloody hell, don't start that again.
Yeah, I think same again, a bit cagey. 1-1 at half time, and then we sort of wake up for the second half and we go and win that comfortably, and it's a 3-1 victory.
It also depends on how many own goals they're going to score. You know, seem to be relying on them as of late. Take him. Any hole's a goal.
I think it will be comfortable, and I think it'll be 3-0. Definitely. I think we've pretty much gone through the agenda. I think we've touched on everything we wanted to talk about. So the final thing, as always, is getting the Rezzers.
Get in the Rezzers.
Come on, get in Rezzers.
Get in the Rezzers.
Get in Rezzers.
That's rubbish. Get in Rezzers.
I'm not having that. Get in Rezzers.
Look, I found it. I found a button.
Don't jinx it.
Don't lie.
We've still got 10 minutes to go. Do not put a jinx on it.
Press that.
Should have just pressed everything. I'd have got there in the end anyway, wouldn't I? The last 15 minutes of the show was just all the clips that we've got in the library. So
that can get in the Rezzers. Waggy saying, "Look, I found the button."
That's never going to get in the Rezzers because that's going to happen every time. So have we got getting the Rezzers now? Have we all got one while we've been doing the show?
Not really. I've got a lot. I've got little moans, but nothing really gets in the Rezzers. Obviously, we haven't got our 50-year-old wandering around supermarkets to moan about things. Yeah. So
talking about your microwave.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So, this is what happens when you get turned 50, isn't it? It's you become a grumpy old man, and he's wandering around supermarkets finding things to moan about.
He's going to be livid when he sees this pod. He's going to be livid.
Yeah, he's probably got a list. He's probably got like a list on his phone with just bits written out for every week that he is doing it, and he'll go, right, I'll use them this week, I'll use that, because he's pretty organised, isn't he? So not like us lot that just have to come up with it on the spur of the moment. I mean, mine was going to be that linesman on the Bagara side that was just like not giving Santo them fouls because of Pierre Gianni, but well, that's a bit crap, that one now in comparison. I suppose the other thing that could get in the Rezzers is the bloody roadworks and the bridge shutting. Oh, that's gonna cause some lumber. That.
Yes, yeah, because it's you can't walk round the roundabout, can you? You can only walk round to the Armoury and to the train station.
No, you can't. You can walk the other way as well. If you come down Castle Street, and instead of going right to the top, there's like that little road that brings you out. I don't know what it is, by the side of the flat sort of thing. You can walk up there to get to the bridge that takes you onto Thompson Street towards where Stepping Hill used to be.
Right,
so you can go that way.
You can't go to the top of Castle Street and turn right, go past the mural that way, can you? That's blocked off. So that's completely blocked.
I don't know. No,
and the Armoury side is completely blocked. So you can walk around to the Armoury and then you have to go through the country.
Yeah, you've got to walk around. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's enough of roadwork watch.
Yeah. Nightmare.
So have you got one, Dan? Or
no, just my general moan that that I've mentioned before, that I drive around at night. I still go past 3 places, houses that have still got their Christmas lights up.
No.
And I'm very I'm still 2 in Ipswich and 1 in Colchester, still got Christmas lights up in their front windows. I'm very tempted to go and knock on the door and say, get them down. To be honest, I think that's just absolutely laziness. But no, apart from that, that's about it, really.
Fair enough. Well, for me, I think it's the PGMOL. They can get in the Rezzers because obviously Dave Challoner mentioned. Yeah, Dave Challoner mentioned about getting another letter. I won't go into what's in the letter because obviously Dave alluded to what was in the letter.
It was all unconfirmed, no matter what.
Well, Dave said it. Dave said it, so it's.
I'm on about Russ's tweet.
I know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he put unconfirmed at the bottom, didn't he? That's what caused a lot of that.
Wobbled a few heads, that did.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, PGMOL. They must have some paper bill and some ink bill for all these letters. They must have rights.
There's a rainforest in their name, I think. But in all fairness, do you think they talk about clarity and openness and all that lot, accountability. Do you think we're at the stage now where they actually should not just send the letters to the clubs, but they should publish them letters on their website, exactly what they've sent to the club, so we all can see? So there's all transparency,
that would
in
be
everything.
Interesting.
It would, but it'd take you, by the time you got to League One, there'd be that many letters before it to try and find it.
There would.
Yeah, but they'd save themselves a fortune in paste. I mean, how much is postage nowadays? How much do you put on a website and it's all there?
Created, Dan, called the internet. What happens, right, is you type it out on a computer and you hit send, and it'll basically be an email.
He said email, not letter.
Ordinary letter. It won't be an actual letter. It'll be just some Herbert sat there typing random crap out, and it'll just be copy paste, fill in the blanks, and then hit send. That's all it'll be. There'll be
These guys are so backwards. They're still using typewriters. They're that backwards. They're still using typewriters. So I think save everybody a lot of hassle. Just publish all the letters for everybody to see on a website, like they do with disciplinaries for players and clubs and stuff like that anyway.
Would they not use a notice board outside, like the club shop or something? you know, well, if it's in paper form, just get it on there, innit?
So, Mark Morley again. I'd say he's on it tonight. He's well on it tonight. Russ can get in the Rezzers for missing in action. Well hosted, Waggy. See, I had to say that. Someone said nice things about me. I'm going to get that.
Also, if you've got a promise from Andy, you're not going to turn it down, are you?
Why do you think I'm here? So we had our first letter read out the other week, and Russ has received another one. And this is it's a bit of a rant and a bit of a getting the Rezzers. So it's from a listener called Alan Rowe. I think it's the same guy, isn't it? Yeah. A Rowie rant on its way. But a better start is that I am now a patron member, fully paid up for the year, looking forward to some old stuff and hopefully some new stuff. Yes, there's loads of new stuff. We will always be bringing new stuff to you, and that's really good. So my rant is this. People support the club buying raffle tickets, i.e. half-time draw. The draw is made and displayed for a reasonable time at half-time. So why do those who have bought a ticket not look out for the numbers? No, they don't. They wait till the next day and ask on a message board, what were the half-time draw numbers?
Yeah. Even though you can actually find it out off the club website.
Yes. There's also that. Also that. And he said, just make the effort to look forward at a half-time. Rant over. P.S. Will there be any podcasts in the close season looking at maybe teams in the Champions that we will be playing and players to look out for? Cheers. Thank you, Alan. See, he's confident. He thinks we're going up. So,
fair play.
Yes. So I have, and I've not been onto message boards asking about halftime draw tickets because I'm normally down in the courtyard and you can't hear them announce them in the courtyard and you can't see them in the courtyard. So occasionally I have put a message on Twitter and asked, has anybody got the halftime draw tickets? I've only done it a couple of times. But I have
never do it again.
No, I can't do it now. Can't do it now. Otherwise, I'm drowning with all the rest of them.
Absolutely not.
And when I've been on the website, I can never find. It's always like 2 or 3 weeks out of date. You can't find the I couldn't see yesterday's halftime draw tickets or the ones from Saturday. So yeah. So I'm one of those getting in the Rezzers. Is there anything else that anybody would like to mention, or shall we wrap that up?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything we wanted to in it, really.
Yeah, we managed to get through the night with so far all the buttons pressed. There's only one button left to press for your Waggies, but
last time I pressed this, it all went.
Tits up, I know.
It's a big red one. Do not touch.
Do not touch. Oh, look at that!
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, so
his new shed falls down.
No, yes, thank you everybody for tuning in, listening, watching. Thanks obviously to all the patrons. As I mentioned, the podcast with Maguire, that will go out first thing tomorrow morning. Russ has already got that all set up. And thank you every single one of the patrons. We've got loads of live events coming up. We'll hopefully have, the patrons should be getting entry to those. We've got a few people in the process of getting things lined up. And just basically the rest of it is just to say cheers, thank you.
Wait. The one about Flinny. Flinny doing a regular
shit.
stint.
Yes,
there you go. Boom.
There it is. I can't find my fingers. I've got that. Yeah. So the big one, it was released on April Fool's Day, but this is legit. This is true. After having the live event with Flinny, we spoke with Flinny, and what we're going to do is we're going to be having a meetup, or we're going to be having an online chat with Mike Flynn every month. Once a month, he's going to come on the show. Not live. It's going to be pre-record, as far as I'm aware. We're going to pre-record, and we're just going to basically talk all things county, and obviously ex-captain, or sorry, he is still Captain Fantastic, but ex-captain, ex-footballer, general, absolutely top all-round guy, and it'd be really good to listen to him. So there's a possibility we might try and get one before the end of the season. If not, we're definitely going to be starting that as of next season. That'll be us with Flinny talking all things county once a month, and that'll be released to patrons. So yes, thank you very much for that, Dave. Yeah, that's a really good one. It wasn't an April Fool; it was legit. So yes,
no, and that
brilliant.
That podcast, obviously, that's special with Mike Flynn. It's really good listen. I think we forget as county fans actually how good Mike Flynn was, and the fact that he was literally minutes away for signing for like Tottenham Hotspurs as well, that he alluded to and stuff like that. I think he's just, it's amazing, that a county player could have at that time could have easily gone on. And we talk about Chris Marsden and players like that went on and really did well in the Premier League, but Mike Flynn could have been and should have been one of them as well.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I think that is all. So all I have left to say is thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Thank you all.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content and more. You can find us on X, Facebook and Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow county fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County!